November 19th, 2021, I picked up an naloxone kit from the pharmacist. I note the price $70, which the taxpayer's paying for it. I had a few-minute chat with him, inquiring about the protocol instructions that he's going to hand me. He understood right away what I was talking about, because poisoning drug overdose is a breathing emergency. You need rescue breathing ASAP. Pharmacist is also a diabetes educator and smoking cessation. You have a diabetic coma, you're going to need rescue breathing only ASAP and glycogen. And you have emphysema from smoking, you're going to need oxygen rescue breathing. Page 1 of the handout we got from the pharmacist. That's his highlighting in yellow. Adapt Pharm is the manufacturer of this. David Renwick, he's the general manager. I phoned him up, got him on tape. He says, yeah, I know, Gary. Rescue breathing is more important than the actual product. Tells me to keep advocating for it. Rescue breathing, God. I watch everybody make themselves physically and emotionally ill. Increases drug use and misuse. Dysfunctional society, and it's being done on purpose. Showing up on scene all the time. Parents giving their live children non-drug overdoses, denying rescue breathing and pounding on their beating hearts. No mention rescue breathing. Again, the pharmacist with his yellow highlighter. Notice on page 1, no mention of rescue breathing. Anyway. No mention of rescue breathing, which is more important than naloxone. It's the most important thing any of the 100 medical conditions the medical profession calls breathing emergencies. Here's a phone number which I called. It's to report adverse reactions, which I did and have for several years. Talked to the adverse reaction people that taught millions of laypersons the worst possible thing, and they're doing it. This was also included in the kit I received. It's a 10-cent rescue breathing barrier mask, which many health districts in the United States and Canada do not supply. And I don't know how many people I've talked to that say, I'm not giving anybody who's a drug user rescue breathing diseases. The chance of getting Hep C or AIDS from giving rescue breathing to anyone are so infinitely small. It's an urban legend. That's a one-way breathing barrier mask for those that are, a little frightful. The air goes in, you blow in, and it will not accept any air when the patient exhales. That's what your government thinks of your life. It's not worth a 10-cent barrier mask. This is what was included in the kit that I got. I've got kits from all over North America, United States, Canada, and Europe, and I've taken the training since 2011. 99% of it's all wrong. And every medical professional knows it, and they're putting their own family members in mortal danger. Right? Hold them up. God. I know at 5 years old, breathing emergencies. And they put a small one in the kit from Ontario. It's got chest compressions in it. Wrong. Rescue breathing first for any breathing emergency. This is from the Ontario government. Some of it's even worse. Shake and shout at the shoulders. Hey, you don't shake anyone at the shoulders if you find them comatose. It could be a neck injury. You pinch them or give them a sternum rub with your knuckles. Call 911. Yeah, even a doctor calls 911 in a medical emergency. And no, it's not give naloxone as step 3. Step 3 is rescue breathing for 100 sound medical reasons. Stabilize the patient's heart rate and blood chemistry by giving them rescue breathing. They may wake up with the rescue breathing alone. Then it says give rescue breathing and or chest compressions. Wrong. And if it's not working, continue steps 3 and 4. Wrong. These are all the signs they teach it. For a layperson, can't wake the person up. That means comatose, medical terminology. Breathing is slow or is stopped. That's hypoventilatory and apnea. You stop breathing, you're dead until someone starts breathing for you. Snoring or gurgling sounds. That's Cheyne-Stokes respirations. Proves your heart's beating. And then fingernails or lips are blue or purple. That's cyanotic. That's oxygen deprivation. Turn them blue. Pinpoint pupils. That's meiosis. And then body is limp. That's another sign of coma. And then they tell people to put them in a recovery position. That's wrong and dangerous. Anyone found comatose, the goal is to get them up and awake so you can assess them for brain damage, multiple organ system failure, pulmonary edema, etc., etc. That's your provincial government, your tax dollars. Then you got down here Health Canada. Started in October 2018, handing out this information. All the same signs, could be any breathing emergency. No mention of rescue breathing. I've got an email from the Executive Director at Health Canada, October 1st, 2018, explaining that the different provinces have different methods of treating people. And if you can't figure that out, the Executive Director, send to Gary an email, he'll share it around. But this people still can't think, eh? Should be screaming. If it happened to you, you suffer any of the 100 medical conditions that require rescue breathing only. Little wallet card handing out to people free of charge. Next thing on the to-do list was go to Service Canada. Little matter of some money issues. There's a huge lineup there at Service Canada. So I put my phone on speakerphone and talked to the adverse reactions people. It's a pharmacist you first talk to. She goes, "What? What? Here, hold the line. I'm going to talk to the doctors on staff." So she comes back on the phone a little while later and says, we're escalating this up the ladder. So she took my contact information and gave me a case report number. So everybody waiting in this big lineup could hear what's going on the speakerphone. Their eyes are big, they're going big question mark on everybody's face. Security guard comes up to me after and says, "Gary, how's it going?" It goes fun. You gotta have fun. That's what life's about. He says, "Gary, I'm still breathing." I says, "Yeah, and that's a dangerous sign because they taught millions of people to snuff the life out of you if you're breathing by giving you chest compressions." He gives a little laugh and walks away. And people, read the comment box for the medical information and then think and save your own lives. This is costing you hundreds of millions of dollars. So many left with permanent neurologic impairment, not even knowing their own names, requiring 24/7 nursing. That's what happens when you deny oxygen to any breathing emergency. Brain death. Unbelievable response half an hour after I talked to Jasmine, a doctor of pharmacology. She knows her life and everyone else is in mortal danger. The product monograph makes no mention of rescue breathing. Deny rescue breathing through any of the 100 medical conditions called respiratory emergency. You are dying. Millions have been taught no rescue breathing, pound on a beating heart, and they're doing it. This is the product information that Jasmine sent me October the 19th. Note right down here, revised March 2021. That's the day the European resuscitation guidelines came out, which have always been correct. It's rescue breathing first, then you may give naloxone, continue rescue breathing. I was published in the 2015 ILCOR guidelines, the International Liaison Committee on Resuscitation, about how you're all being murdered. And it's a peer-reviewed comment that I made in the resuscitation guidelines. God, and it's simple. Breathing emergencies, which there's hundreds of causes, you better give them some air ASAP. Note here, okay? Before naloxone is, hey? Of course, you've got to stabilize the patient. You have a breathing emergency. You have to give them rescue breathing ASAP to stabilize them, because their blood chemistry has become toxic from oxygen deprivation. Their heart will race because of oxygen deprivation. Naloxone causes a tachycardia. You just give them naloxone first. Naloxone increases the heart rate. Then go down here to page 8. Page 9, page 8. Doses and administration. Read that. Do you see rescue breathing anywhere? No. And these medical professionals that have been teaching this for years deny rescue breathing, which is a simple thing. They teach it to 5-year-old children. Doctors and medical professions know that their life's in mortal danger because they've taught millions of laypersons the worst possible thing, and they're eagerly following orders, and they're killing their own children that suffer any breathing emergency. Deny breaths, that's death by omission. Pound on a beating heart, as millions have been taught to do, that's death by torture. Large percent needlessly in the morgue are non-drug overdoses. You might want to speak up and say something before you receive this treatment. Read the comment box of the medical info.